Sorry, I didn't realise she would talk about the punk scene thing. That was just what I wrote in the email. Right, Starchitect is a game and a tool for designing new cultural developments. So you just open the box and roll the die, and then you build it, usually next to water, and it's done. A few other things I made a book cover for the Penguin Design Awards, but it didn't win, and because I thought the book is about power and about who gets killed and doesn't get killed and who deserves it and so on, and I do some logos and posters and stuff as well. But I thought I'd talk about a few other things because I think it's quite boring to talk about my own design. And one is domestic crime, and there's also Swedish crime. Both have to do with design. I used to stay in Sweden. I stayed in Sweden for 20 years. And when I came here, there was non-mixer taps everywhere. And I couldn't figure it out, and now I'm living in a posh flat, which was refurbed in like 2007, and it's like... sorry. You burn your hands, and you're supposed to fill the bowl up, but... So basically, there's something called a power shower. And it's really good, because if your boiler breaks, which it hardly ever does, but that's why you have it. And there's ones with just one wheel, it's pressure and heat in the same. And I was like, pressure and heat in the same wheel, it makes no sense. And then they upgraded some of them. I don't know if they'd looked at a 90s stereo or something, but economy, high, low, and you twiddle that top wheel, nothing happens. And it's still that bottom one. And they added stuff to make it look good, but... So I designed my own. It's called a Triton Defeatist. And it's just a big lever. And if you push the lever down, the water comes out. And that's it. So... yeah, no fuss, there's no divide between what is said and what is done. So I was thinking about crime and domestic crime, and apparently a lot of knife crime happens in the home. So from that follows that it's a lot of kitchen knives are being used. There's knife crime, but you can't control that. It's not on the streets. But I've thought of a way. So in a few years, it will be illegal to just freely walk around with a knife in the home. So this is a system which locks the knives for a certain amount of time. So when you want to use a knife, you have to press a button. Then you have to wait for an hour. And then you get to use a knife for probably, 5 minutes. 5 minutes is good because you can actually chop a whole lot of stuff. So you can teach people, to chop veg and stuff really quickly. And if they don't, they have to wait an hour. And some Swedish crime. I stayed in Sweden for 20 years, and it's really annoying to tell people I'm from Sweden because they always go, I watched this TV show. And I said, yeah, that's all right, that's Danish. And they said, I watched another one. I was like, yeah, that was quite good. But that was about it. Like hardly any good films coming out there. Anyway, I spotted this in a Swedish alcohol monopoly. All shops where you buy booze in Sweden are owned by the government. It's malt whiskey. Look at that. That is Scottish malt whiskey. It's awful. And it's released by a Swedish music festival. The biggest music festival in Sweden is a heavy metal festival with mostly bands that have reformed from the 80s. So Sweden is just not that cool. Yeah. It's just a bit of a throwback. And when I studied in Stockholm, I studied advertising and graphic design. I was at the same school as the Swedish royal prince, Carl Philip, and he's a designer. And that's really good because Sweden is like, a country of design. So they made the prince a designer. So he's a design prince. This is him at his degree show. His degree show project was taking photos of homeless people and exhibiting that. And yeah, I find that quite strange. Because it wouldn't be so strange if I did it, because I'm not surrounded by bodyguards. He also designed this fireplace guard, which resembles the royal castle in Stockholm 500 years ago. So it burnt down, right? In like 1620 or something. I think that's pretty smart. That's really good. The problem is he didn't design it. It was fraud. And the designer, he kind of emerged and said, no, I'm so sick of this now. I designed it, he didn't. And he had to make an apology in the media and everything. It was amazing. It was really horrible. Anyway, yeah, so when I was at the same school as him, we were doing a project for a week. When our head tutor was the headmaster, he said, okay, for a week we're doing art. No design, no advertising, just, it's completely free. You're an artist, not a designer, you know? So, but then he wasn't happy with the work in progress, so he called this emergency meeting and he was really pissed off. He says, all this stuff you're making, it's really lame. Do you know what the prince did? He took a vacuum cleaner and put it in the middle of the room and he pissed on it. He did that. He took a vacuum cleaner and he pissed on it. And then I spoke to a mate who was in the prince's class, and my mate was like, I can't even remember what he did for that project. So he didn't do that either. Right, thank you.